event with a land acknowledgement. So hello everyone, welcome to the SPRE National Accelerator information session. My name is Raisa Masood. I'm the project lead at the Infrastructure Institute. We will begin today with a land acknowledgement. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. Before we begin, I'd like to share a few housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded, and the presentation portion will be available on our website afterwards. Captions are enabled for the Zoom meeting. Instructions on how to turn them on can be found in the chat. Just including that in the chat now. Today's session will run for 60 minutes. The first 35 minutes will be our presentation, followed by 25 minutes for Q&A. We'll kindly ask that you hold your questions until the Q&A portion or share them in the Q&A section of the Zoom. We'll address all of the questions that you have by the end. Please keep your microphones muted during the presentation and only unmute when it's your turn to ask a question. Finally, note that the recording will stop before the Q&A begins. The agenda for today, as mentioned, will start with a short presentation before moving into the Q&A portion. We'll provide a brief introduction to the Infrastructure Institute at the University of Toronto, the team behind the Accelerator program, and give you an overview of the program itself. And then we will walk you through the application process. The Infrastructure Institute at the University of Toronto's School of Cities serves as a center for training, advisory services, and interdisciplinary research. Its mandate is to advance local and global expertise in the planning, governance, and delivery of civil and social infrastructure. The Institute's vision is to strengthen collaboration among public, private, and nonprofit sectors, and to establish itself as Canada's preeminent hub for infrastructure education and interdisciplinary knowledge exchange. Today's session is being led by the Infrastructure Institute's core accelerator team. We will shortly learn more about the SPRE National Accelerator program and hear from our wonderful team members. We are a small yet dynamic team of scholars, practitioners, and urbanists dedicated to strengthening social infrastructure in our communities. The Infrastructure Institute was founded and is directed by Professor Maddie Singhateki. My name is Raisa. I'm the project lead for the Accelerator program. I'm joined today by my colleagues Tate and Louisa for project assistance for the Accelerator, as well as Alexandra, the Institute's urban planner. Our broader team also includes Fad, who is our in-house architect, and Sarah, who is our in-house designer. If you join the Accelerator cohort, you will have the opportunity to engage with and learn from this talented group of professionals. With that, I will now hand it over to Louisa, who will provide you an overview of the SPRE National Accelerator program. Thank you.
Hi. So before we explain the Accelerator, we just want to take a quick moment to explain what we mean by social purpose real estate. So in our program, we are talking mainly about property that is owned or operated by mission-driven organizations and for the purpose of community benefits. And the SPRE National Accelerator is the program that we have that it's focused on supporting organizations to develop their SPRE projects. Next slide. So to put in perspective what the Accelerator covers, if we look at a general timeline for the real estate development, the Accelerator provides education, networking opportunities, and professional support to mission-driven organizations at the pre-development stage of their projects. So here we have the pre-development stage where you have mission, envision, concept plan, business plan, and the Accelerator is after you already have some idea of what your project is going to be. So our program is aimed at organizations that already have a specific project that they are working on, but are still studying how to best approach it, trying to understand the viability and what options are best. So the idea of the program is to bridge the gap between idea and the beginning of real estate development. Because of this, if your organization is too early in the development process or too advanced, the accelerator might not be the best fit for now. So the National Accelerator is a new program. The accelerator itself has been running for the past 3 years. We wrapped our 4th cohort this past June, and we had over 40 organizations. But so far, we had only focused on Southern Ontario, and now we've received support from the Community Housing Transformation Center and United Way Greater Toronto to open up the program to a national scale. And the program organizations receive mentorship, training, networking opportunities, and other resources. So some of the previous projects that came to our accelerator, we have 3 examples here. So the first, there was in the last cohort, 2 nonprofit service providers that came and partnered to develop a newcomers hub to provide transitional accommodation for asylum seekers. And their proposal included accommodation for 70 people, as well as community amenities and office space and retail space. We also had another group with that was partnering and got permission from a church board to develop a community service agency that supported individuals experiencing poverty, homelessness, and social isolation in Toronto. And they were going to use the church space for that project. And their proposal included 80 units of rented geared to income and affordable housing, commercial office, rental space, multi-purpose space, and spaces of worship. And also we had another group that received a commercial space from their municipality, and they were partnered with other organizations in North Toronto to develop arts-focused community hub. So these are just some examples of what the types of projects we supported in the past. And so from the previous programs, 12 out of the 14 projects that came to our project have secured pre-development funding in less than 1 year after completing the program. And 100 of participants have reported making some progress, at least in one component of the pre-development work. We always do surveys after our program ends. So that's how we have those numbers. And 89% of participants also reported reaching some project milestone more quickly after participating in the program. So the national program, now I'm going to get more into the details of the program. It has 2 main parts. So first is the 2-hour bi-weekly sessions that every 2 weeks we invite experts to come and speak about a specific area of pre-development. But we also offer some program supports where organizations may have the opportunity to receive one-on-one support for their specific projects. The program supports are conditional on attendance and finishing some parts of a workbook that we start. We are going to have a workbook after each session where organizations can fill out information about their project. So receiving program supports is going to be conditioning on completing those steps. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as I mentioned, there's going to be a total of 12 bi-weekly sessions. Each session is 2 hours. We are going to host 3 to 5 workshops, depending on expert availability, where the experts will go into detail on how to produce, for example, a pro forma or a business plan. Depending on demand from organizations, we can also arrange a 30-minute virtual coffee chats with professionals in specific areas. So for example, if an organization flags that they need more support to understand planning bylaws, we can arrange with a professional in their province. And to be clear, this would just be a one-time only 30-minute coffee chat, not a continuous support from that expert. But we are also offering 3 to 5 Ask Me Anything sessions, also depending on expert availability. where organizations will need to sign up and ask experts questions, open questions about about their project. And finally, the last requirement, let's say, for the program is that we're going to ask organizations once throughout the program to do a pitch presentation about the project. This will be a 5-minute presentation for the entire group at the end of each session. So at the end of each session, there's going to be a presentation, but each group will only present once. Next slide. Yeah, so here is a quick, more simple timeline of the program. So right now, our applications will close on September 15. And we will begin the one-on-one meetings with the accepted organizations in September 22nd, before the more formal sessions begin. We are going to have on October 9 an online mixer that's going to be the launch of the program, where it's going to be a more informal session for everybody to know each other and know the team. And then our first lecture style session is on October 23rd. And then we're going to have about a month break for the holidays. So our last session before the winter break is December 4th. And then we'll come back on January 22nd. And that support services are going to start after the winter break. And then we're going to work through the fall with organizations to assess what's their most important needs and define what support they need. And then the support starts in winter. And then our last session is on May 7th, and that's the wrap up of the program. Yeah, and then next, Alex is going to talk a bit about the curriculum.
Thank you, Lisa. So the Accelerator is a free and public program open to organizations across Canada, but we do expect active participation from all participants to help foster a meaningful dialogue and a collaborative learning environment amongst all the different organizations in the program. All the sessions will be online, hence the national scope. But we do ask that 2 to 3 members of the organization participate and be actively involved in the program. We understand that there may be some personnel changes, but from previous cohorts, we've noticed that organizations get a lot more out of the program when the same team attends all aspects of the accelerator, and then there's a strong internal communication inside the organization. As we mentioned before, there will be 12 bi-weekly sessions, so every 2 weeks. Each will be 2 hours long. And we're going to share with organizations a workbook that throughout the program you can fill in. And it's really meant to help organizations or yourselves develop like a business plan around this project and other complementary materials. And so we expect organizations to fill out these specific parts of the workbook after each session. So think about it, we'll have the session, we'll provide introduction to the themes, the topics in that workbook. And then the workbook is your opportunity to really work through these different items, different themes, and based on the context that you're living in, based on your specific project or your specific organization. And so once in the program, each organization will be asked to give a 5-minute brown bag presentation about their project. And this is really helpful because a lot of the development process is pitching your project to different members, different funders, and different other would-be supporters. And so this is an opportunity in a safe space and with the feedback of peers and other experts to give some feedback on your pitch and help you along your way. Outside of the sessions, we will also have occasional workshops or Ask Me Anything sessions, or AMAs for short, that will run approximately 1 hour. So this will be another opportunity for you to try hands-on learning different skills that will help progress your project along. So again, eligibility for the workshops and the AMAs will be conditional on regular attendance to the sessions and the completion of the workbook. And considering all of this, organizations should plan to spend at least 3 to 4 hours a week on the accelerator related activities. And there also may be a possibility to work with students in the Masters of Urban Planning program at the University of Toronto. And so for organizations who are willing to collaborate with students on different aspects of the project, that will require a larger time commitment, and you can indicate your interest in the application form when you apply. So on the next screen, I'll dive a bit more into the eligibility. So in order to apply, The organization has to be able to have, like I said, 2 to 3 staff that can attend over the 6-month duration of the program. You need to be a registered charity or nonprofit that's based in Canada. Unfortunately, for this round, we're not supporting organizations in Quebec since the program will be entirely in English. Otherwise, the main criteria will be that your organization needs to have a project site or a strategic partnership or some sort of funding. If you don't have all 3, that's okay. You don't have to have all 3 of them, but one of them is necessary in order to participate because it helps move the project along and make sure you're well up to speed with the different topics we'll be covering. And again, although it's not a requirement, we do encourage groups who are applying to watch. We have the Infrastructure Institute. We have what's called a SPRE 101 training training series. They're all available on YouTube for free. They're about 5 minutes long, and there's about 5 or 6 videos that you can go through. That's good, kind of like crash course into the things that you'll be learning and diving deeper into over the course of the program. So I'll pass it off to Tate.
Hi, everyone. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about the application for the program. So applications are submitted on a confidential Google form, and they're open now, and they are due on September 15th at 11:59 p.m. EST. We recommend dedicating about 1 to 2 hours to completing and also compiling the materials for your application. And to support the preparation of your application, we've created a PDF version of the application questions, so you can draft your responses and know what to expect before submitting via Google Forms. So when you access the application link, this is what the front page looks like. You will need to be logged into a Google email account to open the application, and this will allow you to save your progress on the application, and you're able to return to it if you open the link again. The first part of our application is a bit about your organization. So your mission, your vision and values, as well as the contact information.
Sorry, Kate. So people are having a hard time hearing you. I'm gonna push this a bit closer. Can you speak a bit louder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
See, Francis, are you able to hear Tate better now? Oh, speak.
No.
Keep speaking.
Oh, I'm going to keep speaking until it's resolved. It's not.
Or anyone else in the chat or in the room, if you can give a thumbs up, if you can hear Tate a bit better.
I'm not speaking. Wait,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
keep trying.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, everyone.
Go
It's
ahead.
all good? Not anymore.
Oh, she said she'll turn up her volume, and we're getting a thumbs up about
Okay, we
hearing
are
it.
getting
Okay.
Okay, apologies, everyone. I'll backtrack a little bit just to talk about the first section of the application in that case. So this is what you'll see when you first log on and click on the Google form. And in our first section, we're just asking a little bit about your organization and the contact information as well, and a little bit more information about your organization, like your website or social media, so that we can get to know you too. In the second part of the application, we ask about your organization's capacity to commit to the entire length of the program. And we also ask a little bit about what sort of support services you're looking for. So the main supports that our program is able to provide include business plan development, a pro forma development, and design and massing support. And you have the opportunity to rank each of these supports. And we also ask, as Alex was discussing earlier, we ask you to whether or not you'd be interested in working with a Master of Science in Planning students. This is not a mandatory participation, and it might require a bit more time commitment to liaise with the students, but it's also a great learning opportunity for them and can contribute to more supports through your participation in the program. The next 2 sections of our application include questions about project details. It's okay if you don't have the answers to all of these questions, but if you were really looking to learn a little bit more about what you're looking for, what your project is like, and your connection to the site, as well as a bit about the project concept and purpose. And we also want to know a little bit more about the progress you've made on the project so far. So any community engagement that's taken place, any partnerships that you foresee taking place or are already cemented, or any funds that you've applied for or are looking to apply for as well. We also have questions here about your internal capacity to move the project forward, independent of the accelerator as well. And in the final part of the application, we're asking for a formal letter from your board outlining their support for your organization's participation in the program and a commitment to the program, and also to assess your organization's capacity to both be a part of the accelerator and also pursue real estate development going forward. We're asking for you to share some organizational documents, including the strategic plan, business plan, financial statements, and a report on net operating income. And if you have any challenges compiling these documents or questions about the application, please reach out to Risa.
I'm now going to pass it off to Raisa and Alex for our formal Q&A session. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Tate. Well, now we're going to move on to the Q&A portion. So for your reference, we've actually prepared an FAQ, so frequently asked questions sheet with some common questions about the program. And so we'll drop that into the chat in just a moment. So feel free to look through that and save it for later. It's also available on our website too, if you have trouble